Welcome to Angel Impact, the official podcast of the Wisconsin River Business Angels. Episode 15, Mouth Like a Hippo, Like a Parakeet. Hi, this is Aaron Marks. I'm here on the Angel Impact podcast, and that's the official podcast of the Wisconsin River Business Angels, which is Central Wisconsin's only angel investment group. I'm here with Jeff Ebel, the president. How are you, Jeff?
Fine, thank you.
And I'm here with Leon Ostrowski as well. He's the chair. How are you, Leon?
Good morning, Jeff. Jeff and Aaron.
Good morning, Leon.
And a very good morning to both of you. So we would like to foster a lot of goodwill and congeniality on Angel Impact here. So today we're going to talk about a topic in one of Jeff's earthy expressions. That's one of our favorite qualities about Jeff, is that he's got this real down-to-earth folkiness, I would say. And I think I learn a new expression from Jeff every time I talk to him. So here's one that I've been enjoying particularly lately. And I'm not going to say it verbatim because this is a family-friendly podcast, but mouth like a hippo, rear end like a parakeet. Jeff didn't say rear end, but maybe you can imagine what he said. So what does that mean? And I'm just going to kind of throw this open to both of you because I think we can kind of ping pong this around a little bit. So what does that expression mean, and why is it a problem for entrepreneurs?
Well, I'll take this one. Yeah. That was one of my favorite colloquialisms, and I picked that up from a boss of mine that I worked with for many years. And actually, he had worked for me in my business, and he had tons of those. But that was one of my favorite ones. And we worked in manufacturing. It was furniture manufacturing, and furniture manufacturing is fairly complex process. I mean, there's a lot of work centers and a lot of operations that go into making a completed product. And people in manufacturing and even in sales love to talk about big numbers coming in. We got a record sales month this month. Really got a lot of stuff coming in, but sales, that's not what you should be measuring. You should be measuring dollars coming in from sales that actually went out, what was delivered, what was manufactured, what was delivered, what was shipped, and what was paid for. So a lot of managers and salespeople can really brag about what they're bringing in, but if you can't get it out the back end, it doesn't mean anything. So again, it's really easy to look at the big numbers coming in, but it's the numbers coming out the back that really tell the story. So that's kind of what that's about, and what it does. Bottlenecks in your operation. What is the restriction points that are keeping you from actually processing and actually delivering and receiving money on that product that they bring in on the front end?
Yeah. So basically, you can have the best sales force in the world, but if you have issues in your organization that that impede the fulfillment, then it's more of a liability, right?
Exactly. Yeah, because somebody is making promises that you can't keep.
Okay. Yeah.
So what happens? What happens then? You end up with a customer that's turned off because your salesman gave them all the good news, and now there's someone else in the organization that's given them the bad news. We cannot deliver for various reasons. So there's been bottlenecks in the operations, and those bottlenecks are usually understood and are clear, and they need to be addressed. And that's where the entrepreneur needs to work with the rest of the organization to improve that capability to deliver. And if you don't deliver, you don't get the repeat business. So therefore, that'll affect your future orders. And if you do deliver and it's in very good, high quality, you obviously get more and you can grow faster. So you got to get everything in sync in the company, not just the selling side, but also the other sides of producing, delivering. And people all through the organization need to be aware of what's happening because they're contributing to the success of the company. So nobody should be looked upon as more favorable than the other, and they all have to deliver.
Yeah. That's an excellent point, Leon, and that communication is absolutely critical to understand capacity. What is the capacity of your operation? How much can you produce in a given period of time? And everyone has to be on the same page regarding that. Again, not to make promises you can't keep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So in thinking about this, so I run a number of small businesses, and I'm always, it's like I'm keenly aware of this, this balance between sales and fulfillment. So it's like, here's an example. One of the businesses I run is a music school, and so basically, if I was going to boil down what that does is, we have teachers who have time available, and then we have students who want to learn an instrument, and so our job, at a very basic level, is to sell spots with our teachers to the customers who want to learn an instrument. And so there's always this push and pull between, okay, we have too much supply, it's like we have teachers who want students and we're not getting enough sales, versus, oh, we have a lot of people asking for this one instrument, versus, and it's like, oh, we don't actually have someone to teach that. So I'm aware there's this constant kind of tension there, and it's very hard to get that balance right. But what I also know is that since I'm basically the one who's facilitating all of it, I constantly see the whole picture. And so I instinctively know what I need to adjust, what actions I take. So what I'm wondering is, with angel investing, you guys are working with companies that want to scale really fast, right? And in order to do that, they have to expand their teams really quickly. And so they have this, constantly expanding infrastructure, right? And then they need to figure out how to communicate together effectively, and maybe they haven't built that out yet. Is that, and you're saying that things get lost in that process? Is that what you see?
Let me take a stab at that.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. What I'm seeing here, Aaron, is you have the balance between the sales and the production, and it's going out the door very rapidly.
Yeah.
Everything's in balance inside the company. And all of a sudden the company can still go broke. And you say, well, why is that? Well, to do all that, you got capital tied up. You got capital in raw material, you got your work in process, you got capital in inventory. And by the way, the customer says, I'll pay you for this in 60 days. So now you're carrying all that. So if you don't have enough cash in the company to handle all that, you can go belly up. And that's been one of the biggest contributors to failures of companies, even though you have everything else in balance. So you got to have the growth that's compatible with your ability to sustain it. So that means you got to have high margin business if you want to do it all yourself. Otherwise, you need more capital from either angel investors or the bank or some source to help you have the lubricant to keep that whole operation flowing.
And I think it's also important, extremely important, to understand at any given point in time what your bottleneck is. And that bottleneck changes. It's like squeezing a water balloon. It's going to just bulge out someplace. When you address a bottleneck in one place in your process, you are going to create a bottleneck somewhere else. Hopefully it's at a higher level, a higher production level. But whatever that is, that moves constantly. And as you grow your business, as you change processes, that bottleneck moves around. And wherever it is at any given time, that is what tells you exactly how much you can produce in a given period of time. It's that bottleneck that's going to determine your total production, what you're going to get out.
Okay. Is this something you see with a lot of the companies that you invest in, or even consider for investment, this kind of bottleneck?
No, actually, no. A lot of the concepts are the same. I'm speaking again. My background is more manufacturing.
Yeah.
But the same thing is true with even creating code or creating applications.
Okay.
You got the same processes. You have the same issues. There are still bottlenecks. Where are the bottlenecks? Where are things not being produced? Where are you not getting the flow through in your business? And it's a little easier to imagine it in a physical manufacturing process, but the concepts are the same in just about any business.
Okay.
But what happens here, Aaron, is when the company is young and getting started, it's more on the ability to produce and getting the right equipment, getting it debugged so you sort of get the production capacity up there. But as the company grows and you have more and more sales, Then it becomes more of this issue with the cash flow that'll typically come in a little later in the game.
Okay.
It's now filling warehouses, shipping this stuff to different parts of the country. If you're going to ship and supply the whole world, you now need to have even longer supply lines and more cash tied up. And that same goes for raw materials. So those cash flow changes tend to come for companies that maybe are into generating $1 million sales or more. Now the market has found out they really like the product and they want to take it in faster than you can. So you got to manage growth. And that's one of the difficult challenges entrepreneurs have, is to manage growth.
Yeah.
And that kind of circles back to the mouth like a hippo thing, as the entrepreneur has been hungry for so long.
Yeah.
When they see big orders coming in, they have all they can do to help themselves from taking it all. They want to eat the whole elephant because it's there and because they're so hungry for it, rather than disciplining yourself and saying, I cannot, as much as I want. I've been working for this moment to have more work than I can handle. And while you're there, now you have to be able to be disciplined enough to say, we can't do it.
Yeah.
But we can do it next month or the following month, but we can't do it now. And saying no is really, really hard for good salespeople.
So how does having a good team of, like angel investors on your side, how does that help you avoid this problem, the bottleneck problem?
One of the opportunities is they sometimes supply more cash, especially in this cash flow thing. The other thing is they can say, well, look, you don't have to get it from us. We can get it from a bank. That's a sales, and the bank will supply cash to you just on your sales orders. And that would be other sources for the capital side. And they will share their experience and say, here's how we did it. And that's really good information.
There are other bottlenecks besides financial bottlenecks in a company, and there are physical bottlenecks, even in the development of an application, say, where you have coders and you have people working on certain modules. There may be certain challenges that are taking an extended period of time either to get the product out. Maybe there could be one in order entry, order fulfillment. There could be one in customer service. If you don't think you have problems with ones and zeros, you got to have somebody answering the phone and helping customers through a technical problem. Maybe there's an upgrade. You might not have the capacity to do that. You might not have the expertise in-house. So how are you going to do that? Should I be outsourcing some of this technical stuff? You're going to spend more money on it, but what's the downside is that maybe if I continue with my current capacity, I'm going to have to say no to some people, or I'm going to have to lie to them. See how that works for you.
As Jeff said, there's even an opportunity to run into these delays for reasons nothing to do with internal problems, but this may have to be a product that has FDA, Food and Drug Administration approval to get it through the system. And if it's a drug, this may be several years to eventually get that tested in human beings to know it's safe and that it's effective. And then you got to prove it to the government before they'll give you the stamp of approval to say, all right, can you manufacture this now? And is it a manufacturing process that's been approved by us? So you got all these stamps of approval before you can ever sell it. So once you get it going, now you have a lot of barriers, and it's very difficult for competition to come in when you have all those approvals. And that's good. And that's why drug companies can charge a lot of money for their product, because it saves lives. But number two, it keeps it difficult for competitors to get it in until the patents are expired.
So really there's just all these places in a business where things can kind of build up and not get dealt with, or basically where the demand considerably exceeds the supply, and basically things don't flow, and if things don't flow, then that's when they fester and atrophy, right? But having a good advisory team can show you the places you're not looking for them and why you need to look there.
Yeah, right? Very, very important, right? Blind spots. Everyone has them, and the more diverse your group is, the more likely you are for someone to catch that and to highlight it. And like Leon was saying, there might be some things that are completely out of your control. look at microchips they're doing for auto manufacturers right now.
Yeah.
You can't get microchip, so they're not building the cost of that microchip versus the cost of that vehicle. I mean, that's the tail wagging the dog. They got this, and not that they're really cheap, but they're still, compared to the cost of the finished product, it's a very minor item, but it's causing all kinds of problems in the manufacturing process. And who saw that coming? I don't know. And even if you did, what can you do about it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Any last thoughts about mouth like a hippo, Leon?
No, I think we got it pretty well covered.
Yeah. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode based on one of Jeff's favorite earthy expressions. So my name is Aaron Marks. This has been Angel Impact. It's the official podcast of the WRBA, Wisconsin River Business Angels. That's Central Wisconsin's only angel investment group. I've been here with Jeff Hippo, the president, and Leon Ostrowski, the chair. And we'll see you on the next episode of Angel Impact. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, Aaron.
Goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Angel Impact, the official podcast of the Wisconsin River Business Angels. To learn more about the Wisconsin River Business Angels, visit the website at www.midwestwealthventures.com or find us on Facebook.